Is a cyclist's lifestyle healthy? It may not be. Does it make you live longer? What about skin cancer and sunscreen? That's a really red hot topic. Red hot. It's not a weight-bearing sport, so what about osteoporosis? And how about those saddles and erectile dysfunction? That's a big thing. Big thing. It may not be a big thing. Maybe it's better to invest your money elsewhere. What are our worst injuries? And does cycling make you fit, or does it make you healthy? And what about all the sugar and food that cyclists eat? Is it healthy? This is what we're going to discuss today. They say you don't stop riding when you get old. You get old because you don't stop riding.
You had it wrong.
What? Okay. What's the saying?
You don't get old when you stop writing. Hold it, no.
Okay, you get old when you forget the saying.
Hey, remember all the things as a kid that you were told? You know, go to bed early, eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Kind of what I live my life for now.
I wish I was a kid again so everybody would be proud of me when I take a nap.
Yeah, you know you're getting old when you look at the clock and you're praying it's late enough to go to bed.
I'm finally old enough to do whatever I want, but I'm just too tired.
I think Meta came out with new glasses.
What?
Meta?
Meta?
Meta? What?
Meta? Never heard of him.
The Facebook guy.
Oh, Meta. Facebook. Let's just call it Facebook. That's
Okay,
how old.
yeah.
You know you're old when you call it Facebook.
They came out with new glasses that have like the internet and stuff, but they remind you why you went into rooms.
What a wasted time. Should have been here on the outside, read the sign.
Okay, we just remembered the saying. It's you don't. No, I just forgot it again. What the hell is it?
You don't get old when you stop cycling.
No, that's not it. You don't stop cycling because no. You don't get old. What is it? You don't get old.
Okay,
Mother.
who's on first?
You don't stop cycling when you get old. You get old because you stop cycling. Holy shnikes. That's hard to remember. What was the point of this video again? Oh yeah. Is it good for us? All right, we'll get to that. So I think the big discrepancy of like, is cycling healthy, is when people are talking about longevity. And I would argue that cycling does not make you live longer.
I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
Okay. Why? Give me your argument why.
Cycling as a form of exercise compared to what? Nothing? Compared to running? Compared to weightlifting?
Yeah.
Compared to what? Okay, the longest, I think the one exercise they say that will give you greater benefits is weight-bearing exercise in the long run.
Okay.
Okay, but
I weigh something.
additional weight beyond your...
Beyond the 130 pounds?
Exactly.
Okay.
130 pounds.
I'm joking. That's what it says on my license. Heck yeah.
I would contend that cycling is very good exercise and will make you live longer.
Okay.
For your cardiovascular health alone.
Yes. Now, the only reason I say that it won't make you live longer is because I see all these people from Leisure Village. You know what the one factor that makes you live longer is just having more birthdays. It seems as though genetics plays a role. Like most of the people that I have that are like 80 something years old, I got patients that are 90 years old. They didn't ride a bike. They just happen to live longer.
True.
You know?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know if
okay, so genetics, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then the other issue is like, why do husbands typically die before their wives?
Why?
Because they want to.
So then there's the argument of lifespan versus health span. So I would argue that cycling improves your health span, even if it doesn't improve your lifespan. So lifespan is how long you live. Do you live to be 80, 70, 90? Because medicine can keep you alive pretty damn long. We could just load you up on drugs and keep you alive for a long time. That would be a long lifespan. But a health span is how long you're healthy during that. So I would argue that cycling improves your health span.
If you have a longer health span, does that not necessarily improve your lifespan?
Good point.
You know, I'm not a magician, but I have turned a back rub into a couple of kids and a mortgage.
Some telemarketer called me and wanted to speak to whoever was in charge of the family, so I put him through to the dog. And And what's the issue with sunscreen? There was no such thing as sunscreen when I was a kid. We used to just my parents would put baby oil on me. That was just normal. Then all of a sudden, it wasn't healthy to have a tan. We went through the phase of everybody's gotta wear sunscreen. Now they're saying that sunscreen has chemicals that actually cause cancer.
No, that was
so what are your thoughts on that?
That was the reason that came out. So what is the SPF factor? What is
okay, there's like different things, different chemicals that sunscreen is made of. There's the zinc oxide, which is the strong stuff that makes you look like Casper the Ghost.
Yeah.
That's actually okay.
Oh, that is?
Yeah, for now. So remember the old stuff that you put on your nose? That's okay.
With the puka shells.
The thing is, the standard, blah, 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 benzoenzine, whatever, that actually is cancer causing. Meanwhile, I'm thinking healthy tan, but we're all deficient in vitamin D. So that's the thing. Everybody's supplementing vitamin D, but nobody's going out in the sun.
Well, that goes back to the original point about genetics. If you've got the good genetics, you get a pass.
That's actually what my dermatologist told me, because I told him, I said, hey, how come I don't have skin cancer? I mean, I should. And he said that it's weird. Some people just don't get skin cancer. Then you have the redhead freckled guy from Scotland that went out in the sun once and he's got it all over.
Yeah, I know. So the recent controversy now over the sunscreens is that the chemicals in them now can cause cancer?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Wow.
So what they want to do is they want us to all use zinc and not go out into the sun. But then if you're not getting enough vitamin D, right, then your bones go to crap. Which brings us to our next point. Getting old sucks big time. The other day, I threw my back out because the toaster startled me. We're all sweating out magnesium, and we're sweating out calcium, and we're sweating out sodium. We're losing all our minerals.
True.
And if we don't eat enough,
True.
What ends up happening is we have osteoporosis. So you got to do other stuff besides cycling. So one could argue that cycling is not good for your bones.
Everything in moderation. So if you're...
See, I don't buy that with the moderation.
If you're
that means cocaine is good in moderation. A little meth ain't gonna harm anybody. It's either yes or no.
Okay, Mr. Black and White. If you have a well-rounded health fitness program that's probably incorporating all of these things,
okay,
I think there's great benefits from having it all. If you're dedicated to one, as for I was cycling forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I was missing health benefits of not doing other things. So I recognize that. I wouldn't say then, but I still wouldn't say that it was unhealthy. Even my doctor at one point said, I said something about cycling. He's like, don't ever give it up. It's still good for you.
I was watching Animal House, and the principal says to Flounder, fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. And I thought, these days, he said that to a college kid, he would get so offended. He's like, I'm not your son. I'm gender neutral. The real thing that's important to all men is that one guy that we're all concerned about, that actually there's been a lot of videos about. In fact, they've revamped the structure of a bike because of this fear, and that is, dun dun dun, erectile dysfunction. Now I've never had it.
Neither have I.
All bikes now have a cutout. Look at this one. I even wear it. This one was designed, supposedly Sella SMP, was designed by a
proctologist?
Not a proctologist, but a
urologist?
A urologist. Yeah, I forget the guy's name.
Dr. I.P. Freely?
I think that's him. But yeah, actually, there's big concerns people have. And the guy that we're talking about that might be riding with us in the future, he actually said something about that. He goes, I don't want erectile dysfunction. I'm like, well, but you're old anyway. What do you care? That was my answer. He didn't laugh. Yeah, so is it healthy for your willy? Well, probably not. Probably be a good idea to stand up every once in a while.
Right, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Every 10 minutes, you're supposed to get up and bear down.
Right, and every half hour, I kind of go somewhere behind the bushes and masturbate a little, make sure it's okay.
Being vigorous.
No, I don't do it every half hour. I mean, if we're climbing, I wait till after the climb.
Yeah, my wife got a new dress and told me to zip it. I was caught off guard. I didn't know I'd done anything or said anything wrong.
Thought it'd be golden, crossing the line and don't look back. Think I was broken, I needed some time to clear my head.
I actually was thinking I have a good argument for why cycling is really not healthy for you. If you were to, all your life, calculate how much money you've spent on fixing your collarbones, your knees, the chiropractic visits, the physical therapy, the foam rollers, you would have needed none of that. If you would have invested that and gotten 8%, you'd be freaking rich. Do you think Dave Ramsey would approve of us buying what we buy?
I have no idea.
I don't give a crap what Dave Ramsey says anyway.
I will say that I have had all of my worst injuries on a bike.
Okay, now that's funny because in contrast, I have had my worst injuries from just being alive. Almost every injury that I've had, it's like, where the hell did I get that from? And it's like, hey, wake up one morning and you got a problem forever,
Right.
you know? I think most of my foot problems actually are not from cycling or running, but from standing on my feet all day long. I asked my wife what she wanted for her birthday, and she said nothing would make her more happy than a diamond necklace. So I got her nothing.
Oh, that's for me to say.
Oh, okay.
You know, when my wife and I argue, I usually get the last word.
How do you do that?
Well, I tell her she's right and I'm sorry.
No, people who say go big or go home seriously underestimate my willingness to go home. Like it's literally my only goal. So can you be healthy without being fit? Or can you be fit and unhealthy? Because we tend to think of fit people as being healthy. What's your thoughts?
Okay, totally agree. Yeah.
Well, I didn't say my point yet. I'm going to oppose everything you say.
Okay, I think you can be
For dramatic effect.
unhealthy and fit and unhealthy. That all comes down to genetics.
Okay. Tell me what you mean.
You can have somebody who's would qualify as probably morbidly obese, which is a percentage of their BMI, but still have a great cardiovascular system, technically be considered fit. Yes, there'd be recommendations for weight loss and other things, but other than the weight, they wouldn't be considered unfit. All the blood values and all that.
All right, so that brings up a good question. How do we determine that someone is, what the hell does healthy mean? I'm gonna say that you're considered healthy if you go into your primary care doctor's office and he doesn't know what to do with you. If you have all the values such that he can't give you a drug. That's how medicine determines that you're healthy. So if your cholesterol is normal, if your blood pressure is normal, if your blood sugar is normal, and your enzymes are normal of your kidneys and liver, your primary care doctor doesn't know what the hell to do with you.
And that's the joke about you're healthy until you aren't.
Right.
So all these other factors that haven't affected you yet, by the time they do, it's never too late, but why put yourself in that position?
What about the cyclist diet? Oh my God. You eat a carbohydrate? What do you mean? Don't you know carbohydrates are bad for you?
Yeah.
Well, that's not very keto of you. Our ancestors didn't eat that. I'm saying if our ancestors could get a hold of a Twinkie, bet you they would eat a Twinkie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
A high demand item.
There's been a push for a while on YouTube of everything carbohydrate is bad, including vegetables and fruit. And now, because of this bodybuilder guy named Mark Bell, now everybody's doing sugar diet. And they're all doing the ads, not the ads, but the thumbnails are all the same. I lost 30 pounds in 30 days just by eating sugar. And you're like, that's what you guys said 5 years ago by eating avocados,
Yeah.
But a typical cyclist is probably going to be eating carbohydrates because it's like jet fuel for us. But is it healthy? Are we all going to become diabetic? Your thoughts?
Well,
Stan.
You can't out-exercise a bad diet.
Unless you're 22.
True. That
For a
means
time.
The switch hasn't flipped yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, carbohydrates I think are an absolute necessity. And you could argue the type of carbohydrate, then biochemically, doesn't it all wind up in the same spot?
Yeah, it all breaks down.
Yeah.
And then our body uses it to utilize it and bring it back together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when I was younger, I had the attitude that my body is like a furnace.
Yeah.
And if I go out for a 4-hour ride, I can eat whatever I want.
Right.
And now that I'm older, unfortunately, that brain cell still sometimes thinks that.
Well, you know, the joke is that the amount of calories that you and I burn are greatly different
That is true.
on the same ride.
Yeah, that's true.
And the more fit you are, the less calories you burn as a consequence of the same effort, because your body is trying to conserve. So that battle between burning carbohydrate, and the amount of exercise you have to keep doing more.
Well, then you'll have people sometimes you never see anyone that's ever done this except on the internet. If someone goes, well, I'm fat adapted and I rode 100 miles and I only drank water. And you're like, I understand you rode 100 miles, but I'm talking about a bicycle, not a car. Does the cyclist style of eating, is it healthy? Is it not? I'm sure everybody's got an opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below. What's that one joke where studies have shown that men that argue with their wives tend to not live as long as those that don't, or something?
I don't think it's a joke.
Longevity is a funny thing. Everybody wants to live longer, but nobody wants to be unhealthy.
When the sage brings the rite of spring, morning dove and the sparrows sing. Through the light that the sun will bring, reborn. Plots are creeping on the wall. Swallowtail heeds the northern call, and the last of the frost will thaw, reborn.
Do you think that you and I are going to be in the same nursing home? Like, do you think I'll be in one room, you'll be in another, and I'll come into your room in my wheelchair and go, dude, check it out, carbon wheels.
Go for a spin.
We'll be riding around the nursing home. Meanwhile, I'll look at your wheelchair and I'll go, ooh, cool handles, where'd you get them? And you'll be all, I got them from China.
Yeah,
Got a deal.
Except-
AliExpress. And you know what's going to happen? I'll bet you we'll get lost one time because of me. I'll say, hey, let's go on a different route. You'll be all, you sure you know where this is? Well, when is lunch?
You'll be the responsible person for having to put in speed bumps in the hallway.
Those would be good. They'd make good jumps. But if we're wearing diapers at that age, do we need a chamois? Are we going to
the dual purpose?
Dual purpose.
And when it's used, it just gets softer, more compliant.
Yeah, I think if you live long enough as a cyclist, you'll end up in a nursing home. You'll just have a better bike. Do you think there's people in nursing homes where they look at the other guy's wheelchair and the guy has like S-Works on the bottom of his wheelchair and you're like, oh, look who worked really hard there.
They do have those racing trikes, and I'm not talking about the ones for the paraplegics. I mean, they have like other trikes that, the wheels are canted in, and
oh yeah,
so yeah, they make guys play basketball.
Yeah,
they make speedier trikes, I'm sure, or speedier wheelchairs.
I really don't want to be that guy that has to be in that.
No, I don't want to find that out.
I mean, there's only one thing worse than that: pickleball.
So in summary, is a cyclist lifestyle healthy?
Well, that's really up to the scientists and the influencers to argue about. But ultimately, it sure is a lot of fun. And sometimes that's all that really counts.